Now let's start with the transport layer, the very important layer in the networking. It's not only this, but simple to say, very hard. And the complication is high in this layer. You need to understand, you need to have a complete understanding of what it does and what it does. Okay, you need to study hard on this. And remaining layers also important. I'm not saying they are not, but this is the important, very important one. And if, when interviewer starts, he can screw you in this layer. Okay, just be careful at that. In that perspective. Okay, so transport layer actually it does identifying services. As I told you, a server when it got a packet, this is my server, this is my Google server, it got a packet, it got a request. Somehow it got to the transport layer, okay, transport layer, and at the transport layer, it will check. See, it is not only having the either the HTTPS, it is not only having the HTTPS service enabled on it. There might be some other protocols running at the application layer also. For supposing that it is running HTTPS, it is running HTTP, it is running FTP, it is running TFTP, it is running Telnet. Okay. If we are writing about UDP, we can write read. Okay. These are all the protocols which are running at the application layer. Okay. Now the server got the packet. Now it has to know. It is not as intelligent as we. We created it, but it is not intelligent as we. It will check. As it got the packet, it will process it. How does it process it? It will check to whom this packet has to be given. Now whatever the data I got it from network layer down. He gave it to me. Now I should in turn give it to someone, right? To process it. The data, whatever I got it, I should send to someone. It will see the upper layer. It has some HTTP, HTTPS, Telnet, FTP, TFTP, SSH. These are all running in the behind. To whom should I give this packet? To whom does this data belong? To what service does this data belong? As I told you, port numbers. I told you the packet when it is sent with source port number and destination port number, right? Okay. At the transport layer, these ports are checked. What is the source port? What is the destination port? According to the destination port, because it is this device is the destination of the packet. I got the packet. In this sense, I am the destination. Then it will check the destination port. For suppose it is 443. The server will hand over this packet to HTTPS. For suppose for time being think that it is 80, destination port number is 80, well known reserved, it will give this packet to the HTTP. So it is identifying the services. How? Using port numbers. Okay. So we have two protocols mainly running at this layer. One is TCP and the other is UDP. Okay. TCP, it is connection oriented. Okay, if you are using TCP, actually the application layer has some protocols, and whatever the protocol is running at the application layer, okay, the the protocol at the application layer itself will tell the process that I am sending you my packet. For this packet at the transport layer, you have to use TCP. And if it wants to use the UDP, it will tell the process that this is my packet. At the application layer itself, it is decided. It will tell you use UDP. Okay, once the process has started, session presentation is done. I mean, encryption or decryption, whatever the thing it is done. Next session is initiated. Now at the transport layer, the process will choose whatever the protocol is suggested by the protocol at the application layer. It will tell now. It will tell that use TCP. Then at the transport layer, it will use TCP. If it is telling to use UDP, it will use UDP. First thing. Then if the process, if the protocol has told process that to use TCP, TCP will never directly transmit the data. Okay, if in order to send the data, there is a prerequisite for the TCP protocol. That is, first let me write what is TCP. Transmission Control Protocol. This is the full form of TCP. So what does this do? Once it got the data from the upper layer, it will tell that wait on, as as I am going to take the responsibility. I will not just send the data, whatever is sent by you. I will not just send it in the whatever way I want it. I will not send it. I will first establish a connection, which is logical. Okay, I will establish a logical connection. First, I want to know who is the person receiving it. Okay, yes, it will establish the connection with that fellow who wants to receive this packet. It will establish a logical connection, and then it will send the data. Okay, so it is connection oriented. This way it is connection oriented. It is reliable in the sense whatever the packet is sent, an acknowledgement is sent back. The destination receiver will send an acknowledgement that hey, you send me this hi message. I got the hi. It will send the acknowledgement, and it uses the protocol number 6. What is the protocol number? We'll see in the next layer. Okay? Network layer. Okay, it uses protocol number 6 and it uses 17. This is TCP. What is UDP? UDP is connectionless and it is unreliable. If the protocol is saying that use UDP, then UDP will just directly send the data. Will just send it. There is no connection. Okay, and there is no reliable also. It is not reliable. Once the data is sent, it will not even care whether the receiver has received my data or not. I send it. My responsibility. Did it get the packet or not? It is up to you. Okay. These are the two protocols which run at the TCP and UDP. And if you're saying about TCP, I told that it establishes a connection. How actually it establishes a connection actually? Now this fellow wants to send the data to this fellow. So it is using TCP. Okay. Actually, they establish the connection using, write this, three-way handshake. Okay. Three-way handshake. Using three-way handshake, these two devices will establish a connection. Okay. What is a three-way handshake actually? Simple. First, the PC1 wants to communicate with the PC2. Okay. So what does PC1 do? He will send a request, that is synchronization. SYN message to the PC number 2. On receiving it, synchronization message on PC2, on receiving the synchronized message, it will understand that yes, so and so PC1 wants to establish a connection with me. Okay. Then what it does? It will check the parameters, whatever the PC1 sent with that sync message. It will send some messages, some parameters with it. It will receive it and it will check whether are they compatible and whether I will be comfortable with that parameters or not. If it is okay, it will send its sync plus acknowledgement that hey, I got your packet. I'm acknowledging you, and now I also want to establish a connection with you. That is the meaning of this thing and acknowledgement. Done. And in the thing, it will also send its parameters. Now, once this PC gets the parameters in this message, it will check whether will I be comfortable with them or not. Then it will send the acknowledgement. Okay, you send me the thing. I'm sending you the acknowledgement. So this overall process happens in three messages. So it is three-way handshake. Okay. Once the acknowledgement is done, the connection is established. Next, the data is exchanged. This is the three-way handshake. Okay. But if you're considering UDP, you don't have it. Just directly sends it. TCP, UDP. Yes, it is reliable. Yeah, that's it. Okay. And one more thing. Transport layer. Actually, the responsibility of the transport layer is to transport the data from one end of the service to the other end of the service. Okay. Because here, whatever the application is there, whatever the protocol is there at the application layer, okay, it is giving the data to the transport layer. That is the starting of the transport. Once the data is received, the data has passed through all the layers, and at the transport layer itself is checking to whom should I give this data, to which service should I give this data, and it will be the end. After that, nothing will be there. It will just give this data to the service. Yeah. PC, ISP or something, server. I opened Chrome. Okay, I opened Chrome and I entered google.com. At the application layer, HTTPS is started. Okay, HTTPS protocol has initiated the process. Okay, HTTPS. Okay, this protocol will tell that TCP must be used because HTTP uses TCP at the transport layer, right? Now, what it does, it will establish a connection. Okay, three-way handshake is done. Data is going. The point what I want to tell. The point what I want to tell you is. So what I want to tell you is here HTTPS this HTTPS protocol is giving the data to the transport layer here to transport the packet from one PC to other PC. Okay, when sending the data, the sender process is giving the data from HTTPS to directly to the transport layer. And here, once the packet is received, now transport layer is the last layer which is giving directly the data to the service itself, upon which you don't have anything. That directly the transport layer is giving the data to the service, and the service will directly process the data. That is what I'm saying. Transport layer takes the responsibility of transporting the data from one end of the service to the other end of the service. Have you got it? Whatever the transport process has to be started, it starts from the transport layer and it ends at the transport layer. Behind that, you have nothing. Directly, the service will take it and process it. That is my point. Okay. Yeah. So that is the thing I wanted to tell you. So transport layer takes the responsibility of transporting the data from one end of the service to other end of the service. First point. Second point, it will identify the services. How? Using port numbers. I explained. Okay. So at the transport layer, the same you have two protocols, TCP and UDP. I told you how this works and how this works. Okay.